What is the most valuable contribution a civics committee member can make to Intersect? So for me, that really is all about participating, and not just within, of course, the committee and the different working groups of the civics committee, but it's also participating in the governance discussions on Cardano. Because one of the most important things is that if you're part of the civics committee and part of this journey that we're on when it comes to facilitating these governance discussions on Cardano and trying to be the sensory organ that also discovers what is going on in Cardano's governance landscape, it is super important to be involved, right? So whether that is you maybe being a DREP or being potentially a constitutional committee members, I think it is very important to be involved. And that is not just in the usual channels on X or on other various platforms, but that you have a sort of holistic overview of what's going on. And that is one of the things I think is most important for a civics committee member. What guidance would you offer to someone thinking about applying for the civics committee? So my number one recommendation, and what I would say is really important for anyone that wants to apply, is that they have the time available and the resources to actually participate. While it is nice and great to be part of the civics committee, that is just the first step, right, to get elected. But the second one is that you really have the time and also the energy to contribute meaningfully to what the civics committee is working on. So I would say you need to have the passion for Cardano governance and also the time that is available and also the time to actually participate. What I would also say is you need to be passionate about what's going on, but also be able to listen and to agree on compromises, because in the civics committee, we're not about making decisions on how Cardano governance should evolve, right? That is for the DREPs and for the SPOs to decide, and then the constitutional committee who assesses whether that proposal is in accordance with the constitution. But here in the civics committee, we try to facilitate this governance process. What challenges best illustrate the mindset and skills a civics committee member needs? So the mindset, I would say, that someone who joins the civics committee needs to have is this willingness to compromise and the willingness to be able to move ahead with something, even if you maybe personally don't completely agree with it. I know that we all have these kind of red lines and something that these principles that we cannot change, but it is very important that within a committee you have this mindset, and especially within civics, that sometimes things maybe not go exactly the way you wanted it to be. So you really need to be a team player. I think that is a super important and crucial skill to have, as well as being someone that is able to communicate well, right? I know life can happen and you might not be able to join every meeting, or you might not be able to participate as much as you wanted to in the beginning, but it's super important that you communicate that either to your fellow members and of course also to the Intersect members, because they are after all the ones that voted for you, so you are in a way accountable to them. So being a team player, being a good communicator, and then of course you need to be involved in Cardano governance. So you need to join the conversations, ideally already before you become a civics committee member. You need to be someone that is passionate about Cardano governance. So this is the mindset that I would say is very important. What achievements or contributions are you most proud of during your time on the civics committee? What we as the civics committee achieved, and what I really appreciated as part of the civics committee, I was involved along with many other talented individuals to steward this Cardano constitution process. So we worked hand in hand in the committee with the community, with outside experts on drafting this Cardano constitution. And this was really one of the most meaningful things that I have done so far in my Cardano journey, and probably in my life, because when can you say you've been involved with drafting a constitution? But then that was maybe more about 2024. And if I would look at 2025 so far, what I'm most proud of is really the Constitutional Committee Election Working Group. I was personally not so much involved there, but this working group, which was under the Civics Committee, established a process and framework for how to handle and take care of the Constitutional Committee election, and they did a great job. And this is something where I think we in the Civics Committee gave them the freedom to work on this really important work stream, and they just completely delivered.